All right, there we go. Okay, this thing a little bit different from what I'm used to doing. I've done a couple of lore analysis here and there, but never for Hollow Knight. The only thing I'm doing here is I just thought it'd be fun to go and look at the old trailers for Silksong because a lot changed during development. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it mostly happened between 2020 and 2023. It's probably like 2021, 2022 is where most of the changes happened because 2023 is when we first start seeing some major adjustments here. But like 2019, 2020, those 2 years, it hadn't changed that much. So it's interesting to see what happened here. I don't really know what went through them that got. They obviously changed the lore at some point because based on what we're seeing in the original game, it was definitely a lot more lively. The world's a lot more lively. But here, like the starting reveal trailer, the starting trailer is the opening of the game, and this is identical. This is all completely identical. There's like barely any changes here. It's even that's the same too. Like this is almost completely identical. Not much change here at all. Okay, so they did tone down the backgrounds. They basically blurred the backgrounds a lot more. But that was done by Moss like a while back. Greymore looks a little bit different here. I mean, you still see like I think this represents the Citadel, but this also is representing Grandmother Silk's seal. That's probably what they intend all along, because they never showed Grandmother Silk before at all beforehand, and I'm sure they always intend having her up there. That's what this is. This is representing Grandmother Silk herself. And here, of course, the Cold Forest. We all know this is gone in the foul game. This is one of the most important things because of the reason why it's gone. Okay. And here is Coral Chambers. So this is still here in the earliest game. So even Coral Chambers is still here. Apparently, though, people used to think that the Gilded City was different from the Citadel. So this is the Marrow. In early development, some people thought that the Marrow was actually the name for the Bellways. The Marrow was actually the name for the Bellways. I'm not sure why they thought that. Even Mossbag thought that. Okay, here's the interesting thing. The Steel Assassins. They are up here in the Coral Forest area. So the Steel Assassins are up in the Coral Forest area for sure. So like, it seems like they're involved when you reach the Coral region for some reason. This is Cogwork Core. Yeah, I'm pretty. That's the Cogwork Core. So far we have Coral Terrace and the Cogwork Core. And look, here's the Cragler, but this is the Clover area. The Clover area being Verdania. So this is actually originally the Cragler was in Verdania. In fact, the platforms here are very similar to the Foul room. So this room hasn't changed its shape, but it's no longer tied to Verdania. And here you have a Firebug in Greymore itself. The Firebugs were completely moved over to Wisp Thicket. So that fuels my theory that originally Greymore was a lot bigger, and Wisp Thicket and likely Sayers Road were all part of the same area, is my assumption here. Deep Docks. These areas haven't changed that much. This area is different too. We do see this area in the final game, just like the Coral Forest, but it's a little more limited. You only really see it in the backdrop of Carmelita's boss battle. But this is basically the ant colony. And all these areas are still in the final game. White Ward's still in the final game. Yep. So here we have the Bell Beast boss battle in the Bellways of the Marrow. Trobiel's still here. Moss Morph is still here. Okay, his chamber is way different. Oh yeah, look at this. You come from the side in here. In the final game, you come from the bottom. because it's the Coral Tower. I think that a lot of people have noted that uh, Crust King Kong, Crust King Kong may have been a much earlier boss battle. I definitely think that Khan, Carmelita, they were probably all Act 2 battles. I think that Act 3 was one of the things they added during development. The long development, that's one of the things they added was Act 3. We didn't plan to have that in Act 3. The latest boss battle is still the same location. Carmelita's still here. The fourth core is still here. I gotta check something. I think this is the Marrow rather than Far Fields. Fourth chorus. Fourth chorus. Yeah. Oh yeah. They moved the fourth chorus. They definitely moved the fourth chorus. Because although the backdrop is similar, it's very similar. You don't see any green here at all. All the green is gone. This was originally probably the Marrow, and they moved it over to Far Fields. Sakura's still here, but she's in front of Bellheart. Sherma's on the wrong side of the door. Mossbag kept thinking that the Nealon, that she was teaching the thing to Nealon, but no, that's not how it is at all. I don't think that ever changed. I think that this is probably always what this plan is. Once you get the Nealon, you can sing with NPCs, and that's what this is showing. But Mossbag thought that playing the Nealon, she was teaching a song on Nealon. And yeah, Songclave was always here too. Songclave was always here up at oh yeah, and Sherma, yeah, and have Sherma here too. So like even from the first trailer you saw Sherma up here in Mossclave, up here in Songclave. And of course this area is gone. I think, I'm not certain, but I think this area was originally where Biowater is now. I think this area was replaced by Biowater. This area is like but it's possible that may come back as DLC, and because supposedly there's a day mine location called Farloom Bay. This might be Farloom Bay. So this might come back. They moved this over to the left, and the NPC here has changed, but this NPC is the same. So Bellheart's also a little more lively here than there was in the final game. In the final game, even though it's still the most lively town in the game, it is a lot more dank and kind of dead in the final game because it was just after they got strung up by Widow. Some of them, the population died. And this is hilarious. They spoiled the freaking Skull Tyrant attacking Bone Bomb in the reveal trailer. This is different. Pearls. Mossberry Brew is still here. What? Drew the Moss Temple. It's interesting how this works, because why is this all the way at the top? I said, because this is Songclave, which is in the Citadel, and you can tell it's Citadel. But there's a whole entire quest line here. There's a quest here that shows you the Mossberry Brew quest all the way at Bone Bottom. Did Bone Bottom always have a okay. I don't see Bone Bomb earlier. Oh, the other thing too, yeah, right here. This is up on a ledge to the left instead of down to the right, because the original. Hi. Just having some fun watch this old trailer. I've been wanting to do this for a while now because this trailer definitely has a lot of interesting little tidbits here and there. Okay. My first gonna strike again. Strange seeing pilgrims that surround my old home. If I attack me where I approach, but let this plague be lifted. Bone Bottom. So that a civilian actually had a name. Bone Bottom. But that's like those are both Bone Bomb quests. The Mossberry Brew quest is not changed the original one. Pearls is different though. This might be from the Barco area, which was cut out. I'm guessing that they're gonna add that layer as Farloom Bay. Maybe what they'll do is they'll kind of sort of add an Act 4, and they'll add the Barco area that you can access, and that might be beyond the balance of the kingdom you currently access to, because Hort will not leave until she's saved the kingdom. So, or they can just add new lore and say she found a reason to go out there. You know, maybe that's possible. But the only place I can think that this could be is either east of Biowater or west of the of one of the two west exits. If they are to add Farm Bay as DLC. Plumed Rhino. The main thing I can think of is the Rhino Grund. And Haunted Gallery. Like, all of these quests are not in the final game. The only that's still there is Mossberry Brew. We saw a Druid earlier too, so the Druid's still here, but this quest looks like it. Okay, see that's okay, that's what it is. It's called a Grand Hunt, that's why. So the Grand Hunt has 3 and Hunt has 1. I'm not sure how to change the final game, but it's interesting how this changed here. The Wayfarer quests are when you go and look at obstacles. Haunted Gallery. It could be that this may be referring to Memoriam. My guess would be that maybe Memoriam, this Wayfarer quest in Memoriam was maybe replaced by finding Juliana instead. Well, we don't see it here, so it's entirely possible that this was saying our merchant got lost in the Haunted Gallery. You know, maybe that could be why it's called that. Zanzibar's still here, but he helps you in Greymoor. I don't think that ever happened in the final game. Because he in the final game he helps you against Morwing. And it is in Greymoor, but he doesn't help you against regular enemies in Greymoor. And on top of that, these enemies don't appear in Greymoor either. These are just regular pilgrims. These are just regular pilgrims. And you don't find them in any of the towers of Greymoor. I think that they did in fact cut Greymoor down to size. Yeah, they mostly cut Greymoor down to size in the final game. Because I'm guessing it was probably including Wisp Thicket. Heck, it might include parts of Underworld. We'll get that in a little bit. Beldar is still here, as well as Ballo. That's interesting, too. I think this looks like... I can't quite tell, but I think this is the Bark area again. And this Emmy here, that's spitting all this poison muck, it's the Abyss Emmy. And these are the Craglets. The Craglets appear after you defeat the Cragler. Once again, there's appear to be about tools. I think that's an early version of the Curve Claw. The Skull Brace is still here. The icons changed, but these are all in the final game. This is way different. I have no idea what this is. This might be the bell. Oh, wait, that's different too. What is that? That's a Weaver. I don't know what that is. Pimpel is one of the earliest things you have here. Yeah, they're playing the change quest system from the beginning too. Because you can see the option right here. All these items are final game, but I think this is the Curve Claw, and they changed its icon design, it looks like. I don't know what that Weaver Am is. The Pimpel is not as good in the final game. Wait, what? Who are you? Oh, it's one of those guys, okay. So this is, in fact, of course, the Citadel. Here we go, the ant colony again, but this looks like Far Fields. And not far field. This, I guess it could be the ant colony though. I think the ant colony may have been replaced by Har's March. I would say this could be Har's March. That drill is still really good. Interesting. So, is it attack her? Yeah, it did attack her. The second Sentinel is even here too. It's got the same design too. But this is it's attacking you up here in at the top of the citadel, one of the long rooms. This is Mosgrato, I think, or is that Weedus Atla? The chamber where you fight Weird looks different because it looks like you're in like one of those dream sequences, but this is clearly it's not the case about a game where you bind them at this point. The bell had a seal on it that was never there before. It's in the final game. And yeah, the first slaves fight. Coming soon. Okay. This is E3 2019. That is never the final game either. Bounce out bells like that. The Craws are first shown here. I think that's the first time you see the Craws. Bellheart's not changed. Okay, this is 2022. This is when things change a lot. Okay, this is Far Fields. And here we have our first appearance of Bilewater. And the Underworks. The Underworks and Bilewater were not in the first trailer. Farfields again. Was Farfields the first trailer? Oh crap, I even think about that. Was Farfields even the first trailer? And Shellwood. Yeah, I don't remember Shellwood in the first trailer either. I think that I have a theory on this. But that's Deep Docks. Cogger Core was there. Okay, here we have the Grand Gate. And now we have the Blasted Steps, too. We did not see the Blasted Steps the first trailer either, or in these judge enemies. And here we have the Wormway. So a lot of new stuff is here. This is, technically, the Wizarding Vaults. But it's really, it's East Enclave. That's the entrance to the Ahar's March. Yeah, this is far closer to the final game. There's the elevator crash, yep. Here's your first crest. And here's the first appearance of Morwing. The last judge. Scissor Splinter. Lagoli is here. Okay. Verdania. Moss Home. Ant Colony. Whitewood. Wizarding Vaults. Yes. Farfield is gone. Farfield's Shellwood, they're not here. That's interesting. Okay. So based on this Cragler back here, where is it? There's at least 2 brief shots of Verdania. Hang on. This is where Farfields was the original game, I think. Well, man, this is more like the Marrow. But I'm pretty sure that's Farfields. I thought that was where Farfields was in the final game. Yeah, here's the Cragler. I believe we see Verdania once more in this. I was positive that the Clover area appeared again. I don't see it. Am I just skipping over by mistake? I was certain that Virginia appeared again somewhere in this trailer, but I'm only seeing it with the Cragler. But that still gives me a theory that Virginia was originally where the Wormways is now, and the Far Fields was originally the ant colony. In the final game, they split Far Fields into Hunter's March, and in the final game, they split the ant colony into Hunter's March and Far Fields. The citadel in this one we see is Coral Chambers, Cogwork Core, maybe Whispering Vaults, but the stage could have been something totally different because we don't see anything else of the vaults here, so the stage might just be the only part of it, and it might have been a different part of the Citadel. I'm worried maybe Songclave was its own area at one point, similar to Bellheart. Because this one, as we finally see, dang, I didn't realize that Farfields was interested here too. Yeah, here's Farfields right there. That's Farfields. They basically replaced Verdania for the early game. No, what was Verdania? Okay. See Biowater. I think that was Greymore. The Underworks was missing. Yep, and Shell was missing too. My theory is that Verdania was probably where Shellwood is now. It could be where Shellwood was, and then it also extended further to the west, and after the Cragler was, and eventually they made that into Shellwood and Wormways, and they moved Verdania to east of Greymore instead. It is in a very out of place location in the final game. The blast deaths are here too, because there's an interesting thing we see later on that changes this completely.
One with Game Pass.
Yep, Shellwood. All of this is pretty much the final game. By 2022, they had mostly finalized what the direction the game was going in. And here we have 2022 trailer. Oh, now we see. Now this is the first time we get a chance to see uh Mount Fei. That looks like High Hall's gauntlet. Yeah, that's a High Hall's gauntlet. Farfield. No, that's Hard's March. No, it is Farfield's. That's Farfield's. Carver Core. I want to volume one out. Oh, they tease freaking Growl the Great. Raga out X teaser. There's no music here, but this is the Growl the Great arena. Oh, Gamescom. Open Night Live. There's more. Yep, this is a lot more Biowater. This is the Witcher Vault Gauntlet. Oh, Carver Dancers. That's the first time I've seen the Carver Dancers. They probably shot before this. Release trailer. Yeah, Bone Bottom. Shellwood. Wait, they teased Fleetopia in the release trailer. Yeah. Hers March, Deep Dogs, Farfields, The Marrow, Bellheart, Greymoor. Shellwood, Bone Bottom. Yeah, look, it's moss here now instead of clovers. This was definitely in Verdenia's area instead. This is definitely in Verdenia's area in the original game. So my theory is that this guy was originally at the entrance to what became the Wormways, of course, and that might have been a version of Verdenia of some sort. Here's the upper part of Barfield's Mount Fay again. Hires March, I think. Of course, some more Wing Boss Battle, Last Judge. Pretty typical stuff. The opening. Coral Chambers. Water. Oh, that's the only tease of the Coral Gorge here, because this is the final version of it in Coral Tower. There was Sears Road, and here we have Verdena again, of course. Sears Road is right there. Was Widow and I didn't see Will or a trailer. We didn't see Will or Grawl in the trailers. Sister Spare was there though. I did see Sister Spare. The Pinstress, New. New was not in early trailers either. Press kit and Silksong website. And here we have blog posts, riddles, magazine, website, press kits, yeah. Okay, so interesting. 2019 press kit. So that's the bottom of Moss Ground. That hasn't changed. This is definitely different from the game. They made the Weavers look more dulled out. Here's the Kragler arena. The arena hasn't changed really. It's like the same arena, but it no longer has clovers at all. Raymore. Coral Chambers. Carmelita. Press King Khan. That's interesting. And they kept teasing the Steel Assassins, and at no point did they ever show off any footage of them in battle. They only showed some brief footage of the assassins in the Coral Forest, but we never actually see them. We never actually see Steel Assassins sharp at all. You guys still here yet? Place. Oh, okay. That's our first sign of chakra being at the marrow. And so she was always gonna be here at the marrow first. Because in the initial trailer, we first see chakra at Bellheart. Oh, even that was here. So this is exactly the same. This hasn't changed at all. Some kind of sign? Yep. Oh, the Huntress, the Huntress is now, you're entering the Huntress location from the east. So this changed a lot. Oh, this is still the prison in the marrow. Yeah, there's Grail. So even this is the same. That is different. That one's never there in the original. So these are rails. We saw this. These are 2020 rails. We have Grindel, the Flea Caravan. I can't tell where this is. Is this Greymore? Oh, it is Greymore. Okay, so they were literally teasing them being at Greymore right here in 2020. What? Wow. They teased Seth's Aftermath back in 2020. That was really early. They teased Seth's Aftermath when he was actually defeat Seth. Because when they first confirmed Seth, they flat out said he's guarding protecting something at the base of Citadel. And that's literally where he is in the final game. He's still there in the final game, in the exact same location. But they did not show off his location at Greymore. They didn't really hint at that in the final. But apparently I didn't know about this, but they showed this off in 2020 that he appears in Greymore after you fight him. But they don't actually say this when you fight him. They could have been you meet him here first and you meet him later at Greymore there. Yes, okay, now they're showing off his actual battle. So they're showing him Greymore, and now they're showing his battle, but they're showing him first order. I think there's always the appears that he appears there later. Yeah, there's the Pin Pilgrim. Oh, so these are all in the final game. Yeah, these haven't changed, but they did change how this works though. Cause this, I think they changed that. Isn't that I'm pretty sure that this right here is I'm pretty sure that's I forget what it's called. Like the grapple. Oh, here's a shot of Verdania. Okay, this is really interesting. This is the most interesting one in here. So this is the Blasted Steps, but it's in the Coral Gorge area. So this is confirming that the judges are here and there. In fact, according I've heard, they're actually called Coral Judges in the game's code. So the Blasted Steps are just what remains of the Coral Forest. So they literally replaced a Coral Forest with Blasted Steps and Sands of Karak. The frickin' mouth, Scar. This fucking. Yeah, I could. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, with the freaking Neolin. Seriously? I can't recall. I thought I read that he's dead when you find a Neolin. But maybe I'm mistaken and he's only dead when we reach Act 2. But I could have sworn I read that he's dead when you find a Neolin. That would be hilarious if that was the case. Because here she's using Neolin against Malaskar. He was dead by the time I found him. I never found him alive. Deep Docks didn't change that much. This is still looks pretty the same with Greymoor. Oh, Chakra moved. Interesting. Because in the final game, Chakra is only up on the ledge. But here she's in the near the bench. So Morwing is here. Okay. They didn't show Morwing until in a trailer until later. But in the 2020 Edge magazine, we see Morwing and Garmin. So they probably did plan on Morwing being here all along. It wasn't something they added later. And interesting, they expanded. So here's well, they were expanded. It doesn't look that much different from the final game. You can see various programs in the background throughout the whole thing. Oh, there's Shellwood. It's in 2020 as well. Okay. So that I think that converts then. My theory about Verdania being here was definitely wrong. Maybe it was originally the Wormways, but it was definitely not originally Shellwood. Shellwood was the show off not too long after. It was shown in 2020, so it wasn't that long. Oh, even that's the Whispering Vaults. Here's Verdania. No. Mosgrado? That looks like Verdania though. Oh, I see people speculating that Verdania might have been above Mosgrado, and that could lean in that idea because this looks so much like Verdania, like the water and everything. But this is Mosgrado. The water looks so much. Wait, hang on. Yeah, it's there. This is from Verdania. This created background from Verdania. Oh, okay. That I think that confirms it. Yeah, the Wormways was originally where Verdania was. They moved Verdania east of Greymoor, and the Wormways is something different entirely. And now, basically, Verdania is just kind of like adjacent. Was originally adjacent to Moss Grotto and the Moss lands. Yeah, here's the first side, our first appearance of Last Judge. That was also in 2020. That's the Grand Gate, Reaper Quest. Oh, but this kid. Hang on. Oh, my bad. That's 2022. No, okay. This is 2022. So, but once you get 2022, that's when they start finalizing things. And here's Farfields. I did not see Farfields in any of these screenshots from 2020. So my guess is that maybe when they moved Verdania, they opted to have Farfields. They basically made Far. I think originally maybe the Marrow went further, and that's where you fought the fourth chorus, and then you went to Grimoire. But maybe they had the ant colony nearby. They probably went ahead and changed it so that Far Fields is just also has lava too because it's close to the Marrow. Okay. And now let's go to the Last Judge. No other screens on Morwing. So a lot of stuff hasn't changed. Now the Coral Forest has become the Blast Steps. And now there's grass here. So yeah, now this area has become Far Fields. There is no boss in the Marrow. Well, technically there is, but it's the Bell Beast. You fight the Bell Beast as you enter the Marrow. You're probably already supposed to fight the fourth chorus as you were you're really supposed to fight the fourth course as you were leaving the Marrow, or perhaps they just changed up the order a little bit and originally like the Marrow went around Deep Docks, or that could have been Deep Docks. It's hard to say. Okay, yeah, this is the final version of the Crust King Khan fight because now you see you came up to enter the fight. Yep, you're ascending up here. So this mostly final stuff. Oh, those little flies are still there. There's mostly final versions of stuff. Playtopia. Okay, that's a pretty good analysis there. So yeah, lots of areas were definitely not there originally. We have seen, of course, Shellwood what is in fact in the earlier game, because that's from the screenshots instead. But Shellwood probably wasn't really changed. It was still the same location. Verdania, I think, was originally the Wormways. The Ant Colony was the original version of Far Fields. And the Core Forest was the original version of both yeah, it was the original version of both Blasted Steppes and Sands of Karak. So both of those two areas were once the same location. What else is there? It's like I'm guessing that Greymoor was cut up into like Greymoor was originally a lot bigger. It was cut up into Wisthicket, Sayers Road, and probably not Bowar. I think Bowar actually replaces the Barnacle area, which is probably end up being Farland Bay. I think that area is coming back as DLC for sure, because that's pretty in the game's code still. Core Forest could be DLC. They've already done all the assets, so like it's like that wouldn't be too hard to add as DLC. They can just like make another dream sequence and just have a whole area explorable there. It's usually how they changed up the Krager thing though. The Wormways are interesting. It's like, what else are we looking for? I think that the Ant Colony could be behind Carmia's door. To be honest, they could in fact bring that area back and just be like, if that's behind Carmia's door. You never access behind that door. That wouldn't be that hard to just add a whole area back there and say this is the Ant Colony home, and Carmia is sitting there protecting it. And you can even have a new boss battle there. Which, my theory it could be that it could be Carmia's daughter and successor. That they could have like a basically a new version of the Carmia boss battle, but with her daughter instead. That could be a way they can handle it. Like Carmia was there because she was trying to protect what was left of her people. Seth was added. Seth was right in 2020. I'm worried maybe Seth did not actually exist in 2019. Yeah, okay. Seth probably did not exist in 2019. Because as far as I'm aware, that Seth Goldman actually met with them around 2018, 2020. I'm not sure when it was exactly, but when it happened. But Seth probably was first finished in 2020. They don't even show Nyeth at all. In fact, like honestly, the whole thing with Nyeth it's more about Seth than about Nyeth. But when they first teased Seth, they literally teased him also getting his casual appearance too. It's interesting how they did that. Because they teased Seth back here in the riddles, yeah. Wait a minute. Rindle. There's the fleet. Okay, never mind. I was thinking that it may have shown off the Brock area again, but I don't see it there. So yeah, I'm guessing that the Brock area is coming back as Farloom Bay later on. The Abyss was not shown here at all. Like the Abyss base the fact area of the game. That's the last thing they tease. That's the last thing they show. But there is an Emmy in the early trailer that shows an Emmy from the Abyss, or was moved to the Abyss. All right, that's it for now.